Hey guys, my name is Connor Sintra. I got first place in Swiss at Golden Phoenix, and then I made top 16. Huge shout out to Golden Phoenix for hosting that tournament. It was a blast. And this is my Baromagnes deck profile. So for the ride line, you got any starter you want. You got Deep Soniker, Electro Spartan, and then Baromagnes. So that's almost always going to be your ride line. I've seen some people try the Bruce grade 1 and 2, but that really just, I don't know, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't feel right. For the triggers, I have 4 of the new front triggers because this deck really needs as much shield value as it can get. And on the restands, fronts are really nice to hit. Like, it feels so good whenever you restand or recall your board and then you hit a front trigger, because those numbers just get really big. Then I got 4 heals, because that's just kind of standard. You want to hit heals whenever you can. I have 7 crits, because that's just also standard. It fills up the rest of the slots. I've seen some people run draws or front or extra fronts. Me, I just like being able to get extra criticals on my rear guard too, because by the time I'm recalling them, they're already going to be at 3 or 4 damage. No one really wants to like go to 5 or die, so it forces out the guard. And then I run the Cray Elemental over trigger. I've gotten a lot of people to ask me about that. In my opinion, the Dark States over trigger is really only good if you hit it like early, like really early on. And if you hit it defensively, it does the same exact thing. But then, usually, you want to hit it late game on offense. If you hit it late game on offense, whenever you call out your units to restand, they get an additional 100 million to each side. So that guarantees 2 hits if they don't have 2 perfect guards. And most of the time, they're going to be perfect guarding your Vanguard, which means they're not going to have it for those, which is basically guaranteed damage. Now, for the grade 1s, I run 4 perfect guards because you want to have as much guard power as you can, and you can only run 4 perfect guards. I run 3 Brothers Soul because I don't see the point in 4, because then you have too many orders, and this deck already has shield problems. You get rushed a lot, so I just think that running 3 of these is fine, and I had to cut some out anyways to add some of the new cards. I run 2 Sonikers main board to guarantee that you see them, because if you don't see them, it kind of hurts. It makes your kill turns a little bit weaker. It's not too much of a difference, but having 2 of them just feels nice. And then I have 2 Gungnrams. It used to be 4, but then I cut 2 out for the new grade 2 Crimson Igspeller, because Igspeller does the same job as Gun, except you actually use his second ability sometimes. Guns you never really can use because you don't want to go below 15. Speaking of Igspeller, I run 4 Igspellers in the main deck now, because this card's just really good. It does Selfish Engraver's first job a little bit better. It just basically does the guns, because on attack at Vanguard, you soul charge 1. So what I've been doing is I've been playing this to swing at the Vanguard, and then I've been using Selfish Engraver to swing at rear guard, because you're going to force them to guard their rear guard, so that gets cards out of their hand, because Selfish Engraver has to hit, and then he doesn't have to hit. He just swings at the Vanguard. For the rest of the grade 2s, I run 4 Selfish Engravers, because you really just like the soul charge you get from her, or the counter charge you get from her, and she gives you an extra soul if you're at 10. And then if they let her hit for some reason, then that's an extra 1. So she really can potentially give you +2 in soul and a counter charge. And then I run 3 Electro Spartans to maximize the amount of soul that we're getting, because it's a counterblast 1, yeah, but if you don't see anything else, you might as well use that counterblast 1 for Electro Spartan to get 2 more in soul. And now moving on to grade 3s, I run 4 Curtis because he's really good, just on play Soul Charge 2. Why wouldn't you run 4 of that? And his second ability is really good as well. You Counterblast 2, give your front row 5k. It does go away after you call the 2 rear guards back out, but nonetheless it's still good because like if you have 2 10ks in the front row, you use Curtis effect, guarantee that they have to guard it. I run 2 Supernatural Extraction. This card is really good. It helped me in the tournament a lot because most of the time you're going to soul charge pieces you need. With this, you just counterblast 1, discard a card. You get to soul charge 3. So if you're at like 12, it gets you to 15, which is really good. And then if you're already like a little bit higher than that, you get to add a card back if you have 10 or more in soul. So you get to soul charge 3, then add a piece back. So a lot of the time I would soul charge an over trigger or a perfect guard. I would just add those back to my hand and then soul charge a little bit more to get to 15. Because this card's really good. And also if you're at like 11, you can soul charge 3, add a Curtis back to your hand, play that, you're at 15. The card's just really good overall. But at the end of the day, I only ran 2 because this and the Brother's Soul is already 5 orders, and you really can't have that many non-shield cards in this deck, because at the start of the game, you're consistently dumping your hand to try and get field presence. So if I had more than that, it'd be too little shield. And then I run 2 Baromagneses. It used to be 3, but I thought that you really only need 1 Persona Ride if you're going to win the game. You usually don't need the Persona Ride anyways, but the Persona Ride just like guarantees that you win the game. But at the end of the day, I had to cut out this and then Crawl You Insects to try and get the Igspeller in here. And then I cut out 2 Guns for 2 of these. But you don't really need Baromagnes to Persona Ride. So having it is nice. You don't necessarily need it though. That's just my opinion. A lot of people still run 3 main board. I just don't see the point in that because that also cuts back on shield values. But that's it for my deck profile. I hope I explained everything. I know the camera is not picking up all the pictures well, so I will also have the deck list in the comments or in the description. I'd like to again say a huge shout out to Richard Garcia and Golden Phoenix for holding these tournaments. They're so fun to play in, and I'm glad I managed to do well at this one. And that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Deck list in the description. Link in the description for Golden Phoenix. Peace.